Hello YouTube, afternoon here. Little drive time here. Everybody seemed to enjoy it last time. So we're just got a subject I want to talk about during this while I'm taking up some time here. Been working on looking at buying silver or precious metals and what we need to do to help improve financially position with savings and future and everything. And there's obviously a lot of information out there, like I talked about last time, about the collapse of the dollar, collapse of the financial system and everything, and changing your investments into precious metals. And the biggest thing, the problem with silver, or I don't know if it's a problem because it's keeping the price really low right now, is the manipulation of the market through paper stocks, and the SLV in particular stock on silver that they've been what they call naked shorting, and not having the silver to cover their promises, and they've been just dumping that in the market. And it happens with gold to a certain extent too, but you got all the analysis. Silver's so rare, and how it's used in industrial applications and stuff like that, and really get you thinking, like, I mean, how can it possibly stay that low? How is it possibly as low as it is, below $30 still? This long after, like, say 1980, it was $50. And how can it be held so low? And I just looked more into it, and they're obviously doing it on purpose. And the problem is if it ever does go up, everything's going to go up. I mean, silver is used in so many different things today, from cell phones and computers to clothing and other things like that. I mean, that's why it's so cheap. They have to keep it cheap to keep everybody's standard of living where it's at. It seems like that's what it seems to be apparent to me, is that part of the purposeful suppression of the price is for the economy, as far as being consumer items, consumables that everybody's buying, and all the silver just gets chucked into the landfills after it's used and not extracted because it's just so cheap. And you got to wonder. Well, for one, that can't last very long, right? If we're throwing it away. So yet again, won't there be a price increase? But is there an alternative metal, which in most of those applications, there's not one that does all those. Silver's the only one that does all those in one-stop shopping. But it's just hard to get around. Like if you buy into it, like go all in per se. How long does the manipulation last, and will it be manipulated to the point to where then they transfer over to something else before there's any and if the dollar does collapse, are they going to continue to suppress it in a manner somehow? Something to think about. It makes it pretty difficult when you're talking about putting all your basically life earnings into it, or a good portion of your savings and IRAs and everything else to get physical metal. So it's a difficult decision. Something I just want to share. Thinking about that they're not going to let silver bounce up like gold. They're going to continue to keep it at ratios with gold that are low, or I guess you say a high ratio of like 50 to 1, like the relative. I think it's 54 to 1 right now, and they want to keep it at that because of the impact it would have on consumerism and all the items you would buy with it that include silver. So really a lot goes into it, and makes you think, well, should I buy gold instead, even though it's not very much, and it's probably not going to percentage-wise grow as much if it does bounce. But so there's some thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you've got some already, in particular, or a little more inside knowledge would be helpful. But it's a strange system, the way they're able to do that. I mean, you got the mega banks that basically just undercut the whole market by themselves. One bank could come in and buy up all the physical silver by themselves, and the price would go through the roof. So that goes again to saying, like, whoever holds a lot of the silver, and then they jack the price up and makes huge profits off the silver they bought at $3 an ounce or whatever. They can manipulate it like that too. which would be more beneficial for the system, I guess. But you know, watching a good video on about the confiscation of gold in the 30s. They were talking about how, you know, it was voluntary. You had to go turn it in to the local treasury or bank or whatever, and you got money in kind, because back then there was, you know, federal, the notes were for gold swap, and so you got $20 in gold, you know, coin or whatever. But the trick was, after the due date, the week after that or whatever time period was, then they repegged gold from $20 an ounce or $20 to the coin to $35. So basically they inflated the price, what was that, 75%, just by repegging the price of gold within a short period of time after everybody turned their, a lot of people turned their gold in, not everybody, but after they were expected to turn their gold in. So right there through inflation, they manipulated, you know, the gold market and everything. And I guess the biggest thing is if they try to junk again, everybody's going to hold out. You know, there's no reason. I think everybody that's smart on metals now is definitely holding out and not going to turn in their metals. And if it happens again, they'll just say, no, it's not happening. Kind of like guns. You know, we're not turning in our guns. We're not turning in our gold or silver either, or anything else. The federal government can pack sand. But so lots of stuff out there. A lot to think about. At least that's what I've been thinking about lately, as far as prepping for the future, and things to look at, shifting some assets around, and trying to be better suited for what can be coming up. Hope you're all doing good. Keep it up out there. Like watching a lot of y'all's videos. A Thatcher up there, back home, doing his homesteading thing. Got his chickens and everything. That's awesome. Been watching that. He's going to start his garden soon, which we got to get started here soon. Probably close to the end of the month. Less chance of freezing, but lots of stuff going on. I can keep it up out there. Look forward to talking to you later. Bye.